All right, so a survey was conducted in the United States and 10 countries of Western Europe to determine the percentage of teenagers who had used marijuana and other drugs. The results are summarized in the table. So these columns here, just to make it a little smaller, they're in two separate things, but these columns are L1 and then these columns are L2, so you'll need to put those in to do the scatter plot.
I love calculator problems. Wait, I have to do it first. Gosh. Even stat and then clear list and then second stat.
And I know I turned stat plots off on my calculator the other day, so unless I somehow magically turned them back on. Actually, somebody used my calculator the other day, so it might actually be on.
Was I supposed to actually like participate in fundraising?
Like to sell stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, in theory.
'Cause
According to the online thing, the school did like $17,000 of
Did they really?
fundraising, yeah, of our goal of 25. We had 17.
I signed up and shared it a million times to myself.
Yep, me
I
too.
didn't even touch it since I got it.
Honestly, it's not that exciting. It's kind of a weird thing.
It's more of, I mean, the fundraiser itself, like with the prizes and stuff, is definitely more of an elementary, maybe up through middle school geared thing.
It is.
But with high school, the benefit is that your class makes the money off of it, so. That's
I
kinda
bet you
nice.
Kay did like sold a ton.
She did. Actually, but Ellie is I think Ellie was the highest for our class, if not for the whole high school. Which, I'm like, she wasn't even here for the bulk of the fundraiser, so. But I don't really know what her mom and grandma do.
I have no idea.
I just, I don't have the calculator in front of me, so I just put what I thought it was supposed to look like.
Wait, so
You guys zoom stat, and then it'll show you your.
Oh, and there's something in the y equals, so you're going to have to clear it, because I know I put something in the y equals this morning.
we both or just
Yeah, so you do both. So you do L1 and L1. So you do both of them, and then L2. Okay, mine are kind of.
I mean, mine's just kind of a rough,
says second step.
Zoom stat.
Second zoom step.
Right here. Zoom. And then you hit stat. All the way down. It's technically number 9. And then hit 9. Okay, so hit second, and then y equals to the top. And then make sure that, and then hit the first plot, and make sure that the type is the dot, well, to the dots. Because mine was a histogram, so.
Zoom. Alright, cool. So we just draw a rough sketch based on this.
yeah. I kind of copied it off of what I had on my paper that I assume came off the calculator, so.
she doesn't have anything that she needed me to do, so.
They were doing stupid lab. I can't even participate.
In forensics?
Why?
Cause alright, so check this out, right? So you know how like I'm the only black kid in the class, right? I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, so my hair, it's all it has to do with hair.
Hair, yeah.
So my hair is real coily. So we gotta, you know how you had to put the nail polish on the slide. Put the nail polish on the slide, use a piece of hair, and then put the hair on the put the hair on the nail polish, and then once it dries, you gotta take it out. That would work for straight hair, but since my hair is so coily, I'll put on the nail polish and it'll just ball like a fist. So I can't, so it won't stay. Unless I like hold it down, even if I do that, it still won't work. Like I redid it 5 times yesterday and it still didn't work.
So she's just like not having you do it?
I don't know. I mean she told me like, you know, restart tomorrow, but if it works.
Oh, what are you gonna do if it doesn't work? Join in, use somebody else's hair. I don't know.
Yeah, you can use mine. I'll give you my hair. Okay, I'll give you my
Rip a
hair.
few pieces out for you. All right. For this next thing, the correlation between the percent of teens who have used marijuana and the percent who have used other drugs, you have to do the Lin Reg thing, so the stat calc and then Lin Reg. You're looking for the R value, which I'm not sure that your calculator is going to give you. If it doesn't, I'll tell you what you have to do to get it to come up.
Okay, so X is L1, right?
Yes.
And Y is L2.
Yep.
We put anything for the fructose.
Or sugar.
No, just store it. Well, you don't really need to store this one because we're not doing anything with the stored equation,
Okay.
so you don't have to store it.
So I got A is negative 3.07.
You're looking for R.
I do not have it on here. And then I have B is 0.615.
Okay, so he had R is 0.93. Okay, so Joelle, go to hit, I think it's mode. And then does it bring up the stuff where you can like set the time and all that?
Yeah.
Okay, so there should be one that says something like stat diagnostic or turn diagnostic on. If yours is in the off position, turn it to the on position and then rerun the thing. If you just hit the enter button again, it should do it without you having to retype everything in.
There it goes. Okay, R is 0.934.
What is R represent?
It's a correlation coefficient. So this one would be a strong positive correlation.
Which is the answer to the next question.
Oh, well, look at that. Oops.
It's a strong positive.
So it's a strong positive linear correlation between marijuana and other drug use.
Why can I not spell that?
So basically countries with higher percent of marijuana use tend to have higher percentage of other drug use. So do these results confirm that marijuana is a gateway drug? That is, that marijuana use leads to the use of other drugs?
Yes. Because if you have the percent of other drug use and you have the percent of marijuana use, it goes up. So I would say yes. But I'm assuming it's no.
Well, Ethan initially said no. What made you initially say no?
I don't think you can tell if it's a gateway drug by the information given.
Correct.
Oh, for real?
Okay.
No, correlation does not equal causation.
Oh gosh dang it! I knew that.
I honestly just guessed.
Ugh.
We can't prove that using marijuana leads to using other drugs.
Okay. Well, I don't even know what. I don't even know what I'm learning right now. Like, what the heck? We cannot prove that using marijuana. I said we cannot prove that using marijuana does not. Like, what am I even saying?
When I hate me home so we can cause like I don't got a ride, so I gotta take lifts are stupid. So you can't put it in the address. You have to put the address by the houses on the side.
What are you talking about?
You can't put in the school's address?
Yeah, so like you know how, cause like you know how I gotta ride home, right?
Yeah.
So my parents, they're out of town, so I can't catch a ride from them. They tell me to if I put in the school's
okay.
address, they gotta wait in the line, and then
Oh yeah.
if they wait for 5 minutes, they charge extra.
Oh.
Like if you're not in the car 5 minutes after, you gotta charge. They charge extra. So you gotta put your address in by the houses, by the playground.
So you have to like walk across over to.
Oh, for God's sake, I was like, what? Are you
I know, I was like, what do you mean you can't put in this address? I was like, makes sense. Could you note for them to park? Because if they park, you could just walk across at the corner.
Yeah, I mean,
But I mean, if they pull up back here, it's probably a little. It's probably actually closer.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think smart.
Do you live by Menchville?
No, I live in
The Office of Federal Housing Enterprise Oversight collects data on various aspects of housing costs around the United States. Here's a scatter plot of the housing cost index versus the median family income for each of the 50 states. The correlation is 0.65. Describe the relationship between housing cost index and the median family income by state.
It is moderate. It can be positive or negative if it's moderate. Okay, so it's positive. Non-ish.
Linear.
So that means that as income increases, housing cost also increases. If we standardize both variables, what would the correlation coefficient between the standardized variables be? So standardizing would be making them z-scores, basically.
Oh gosh. Okay. I honestly have no idea.
Do you think it would change or not change?
Probably, yeah.
It's going to stay the same.
Man, that's like 2 for 2. I can't.
Correlation is based on z-scores.
I mean, it was like an educated. It was an educated game. Like, I used not from the last year.
So it would not change. If we had measured median family income in thousands of dollars instead of dollars, how would the correlation change?
Give me 2 seconds. Okay, I promise you there's something wrong with my brain because I can't spell it. If we had measured modern family income in thousands of dollars instead of dollars, would the correlation change? No, yeah, I was gonna say no. Would not change.
It would not change. Correlation is unaffected by a change in units. So for the next one, notice that DC is marked on there, but it's not counted in one of the 50. So it's saying if we added it for the next one. So Washington, D.C. has a housing cost index of 548 and a median family income of 45,000. If we were to include D.C. in the data set, how would it affect the correlation coefficient? So would the number get smaller or larger? Meaning, would it become stronger or weaker?
Weaker because it's not really in the middle. It's kind of like farther out, but it's also near one of them. So I would say weaker.
Yeah. It would go down or become weaker. You could say it's a moderately high outlier because it doesn't really fit the pattern if you look at it. I mean, your line, if I had to guess, your line is going to go somewhere through here. So these values are pretty high up. Not to say these other ones aren't outliers, because I would wager to say that some of these other ones are outliers. But that's why we could say it's like a moderate outlier where it's maybe affecting it, but not as much. So DC is a moderately high outlier and doesn't fit the pattern well. But because of that, that's why it will change the correlation coefficient. And last one, do these data provide proof that by raising the median income in a state, the housing cost index will rise as a result?
Yes.
Why?
Because if you're changing the median, that's like the middle of it. So if it gets higher, then those outliers might not be outliers. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense.
You agree, Ethan? No, correlation does not equal causation.
Okay, now you're 1 for 4, so now I'm like 3 for 4. But anyway, okay, no correlation does not equal. Okay, I got it now. I got it.
We
It's
can't
like
prove.
It's the third one. And it's the same answer. I'm actually really upset with myself.
That if median income
Imagine you say the exact same thing and it ends up being wrong.
Okay, so now
Increases
I know on my quiz.
this,
That
then
is
I'm going to
what-
give you one that it is.
Oh my gosh, I would actually be so mad at you. I would be like, that would be so mean.
That'd be so sick.
This this will cause housing cost index
No, and then you think she's gonna do that and she's not going to, and then I'm gonna be right.
to go up as well.
Gosh dang it.
That would be so fun. Be like, how well were you really paying attention?